Alright, what's going on, guys? So we're back with part 2 of the breakdown of the abilities of the brand new champions coming in September, and that's Black Widow Clairvoyant. She was part 1. A link to that video will be in the description below if you want to go check it out. Some crazy abilities on her, some immunities, even to death. You guys gotta go check out the video, it's pretty crazy. But now we're going to be talking about the brand new Cosmic Champion coming to the game, Vision Aarkus. I don't know if it's Arkus or Aarkus. I like Aarkus, so I'm going to go with that. But this guy seems pretty cool. So wait, 2 slight disclaimers before we get started. This new Vision and this new Black Widow actually have no correlation to the Visions and Black Widow we already have in the game, the Tasha Romanoff and the Android Vision. These two characters are completely different and separate. They actually came before in the comics. These guys are like in the 1900s, like 1940s, and like the World Wars, that sort of thing. So like very, very old characters, and I believe the reason why they're coming to the game now is because there's Marvel's 80th anniversary. So it's kind of like to pay homage to some of the older stuff. I think that's why. But yeah, huge shouts also to Otrix and MCOC Journal for getting these early breakdown leaked abilities and putting them into a nice little clean image here with all of them so we can break it down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now let's get into these abilities. So there's no bio on this guy, but I think I've heard some origin stories. Basically, he comes from a place called Smoke World, and he's able to manipulate smoke. Basically, like even the smallest amount of smoke or gas he can manipulate. And yeah, he was kind of like a cop on the planet, something like that, I think. So yeah, let's talk about some of the abilities. So let's talk about the signature ability first. So Smoke and Mirrors. Vision has his connection to the Smoke World to shrug off non-damaging debuffs. This is interesting. I like that because like we have Ghost who can shrug off damaging debuffs, which I think is definitely better, but we don't have someone to shrug off non-damaging debuffs, which definitely has uses, like against fighting like a Void, for example. Shrugging off those debuffs without having to purify them through Void's abilities could be nice. And also, what Kabam did in Variant 3 was they put a what was that node called? They put it on a Void where the further away, I think it's like long distance relationship or something like that. When you're close to Void, so when you're attacking him, you get a weakness debuff, and Void deals damage for that weakness debuff. And like Ghost couldn't purify that, but like so an ability like this to purify non-damaging debuff, I feel like that could really come in handy. So whenever Aarkus gains a non-damaging debuff, he has a % chance to purify all non-damaging debuffs. This cannot trigger more than once every certain amount of seconds. So another disclaimer that we don't really have all the exact numbers. So there's percents and numbers and brackets here for time. It says 1% in 2 seconds, but I don't think that's the actual amount. The values, we don't have the exact values, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, depending on what the numbers are, it's also going to depend how good this champion can be. Alright, let's talk about his regular abilities though here. So we have Chilled Air. So he's got some pretty crazy stuff. So Chilled Air, Aarkus is constantly chilling the area near him. Every certain amount of seconds the opponent spends near Aarkus, Aarkus, they gain an armor break debuff, decreasing armor rating by a certain amount for a certain amount of seconds. Armor break debuffs on the opponent are paused while they are near Aarkus. So that's interesting. So basically, if the opponent's just near you, they're going to be armor broken, which could be pretty good depending on certain matchups, especially like versus Warlock, who has the passive armor. Being near him, he's going to be breaking that armor, which is interesting. Heavy attacks consume a power gain buff to finish Aarkus's current power bar. For example, if he has 1.5 bars of power, this sets his power to 2 bars. So this is very interesting. He has power gain buffs, and he can consume them with heavy attacks to instantly shoot up to the next bar of power. Very interesting there. Power of Smoke World. Aarkus draws strength from the Smoke World dimension at all times. He starts the fight with a power gain buff and gains an amount every certain amount of seconds. So it's probably his gains 1 every certain amount of seconds. So that could be interesting. Good power gainer. But I like that he has to use a heavy attack to activate it. I was kind of getting a Hyperion vibe, but unless, like for fighting him defensively, unless he hits you with a heavy attack, he's not going to be activating his power gain. So unless it's just use a heavy, and Yeah, actually, it might just be if he uses heavy, he doesn't have to land on you. I don't know. Maybe you have to not bait out heavies. He also gains 1 whenever whenever his power is drained or he receives a power lock debuff. Okay, I guess if you're fighting like Doc Ock, that could come in handy. These buffs last indefinitely and each grant Aarkus % of a bar of power every seconds. Okay, so that's interesting. I guess it will work passively, similar to Hyperion, and it says it lasts indefinitely, so that means it won't expire. It's probably a very low amount of power gain, though, if it's going to be lasting indefinitely. Yeah, it's probably not going to be too crazy. Whenever the opponent activates a special attack, 1 power gain buff is nullified. That's interesting. So when you're fighting him, by using specials, you nullify his power gains. Okay. And then armor break timer. Gain an armor break debuff when this expires. Frozen air. This is crazy, dude. This is crazy. Opponents near vision gain a cold snap debuff. Dude, what? What? Just being near this guy, you're gonna get cold snap. And then signature ability cooldown. Vision signature ability is on cooldown, so it's something to do with sig ability. So we'll have to see what that cooldown is. Probably depends on what level of the signature is. But dude, this is interesting. Whenever you're near him, you gain a cold snap debuff. I don't know how I feel about that. That sounds, dude. This guy's gonna be a ghost counter, a hard ghost counter. Well, I don't know about hard, but because if you're near him, you're gonna get armor broken. Also, class disadvantage for ghost. Definitely gonna be a rougher matchup for ghost. That's interesting. And if you're armor broken with ghost, you can't phase. Like, that's why having an armor break is so bad. So if you're armor broken with ghost, then you can't phase the cold snap debuffs. So, dude, I don't like that it's a cold snap. Just being near him. So depending how bad that cold snap is, you might have to take cold snap immune characters against this guy. Interesting, really interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to see the values on that cold snap, how bad it is. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the special attacks though for how we're gonna be playing this guy. So, Aarkus on special 1 rises up on a tornado of smoke and vapor, then slams into the opponent, knocking them back with the force of a, let's say, gale? Force of a gale? Each hit refreshes all armor break debuffs on the opponent. If the opponent is armor shattered, this attack deals an amount of bonus energy damage. That could be good. And we have another armor shatterer, like Medusa. So Blizzard Blast. Aarkus conjures a blast of frozen energy, snow, and ice, chilling his opponent to the core. Replace all armor break debuffs on the opponent with 1 armor shattered debuff. No. I thought it was about to be multiple armor shatters. So take all the armor break debuffs and put 1 armor shatter on the opponent. For each armor break removed, this debuff lasts longer. Okay, and reduces armor rating by a certain amount. Okay, so for however many armor break debuffs you have, it's gonna increase the amount of time this armor shatter has and the amount of armor rating reduction that it has. So that's cool. So the more armor breaks, the better. Which just by being near the opponent, you stack them. So this could be pretty good if you keep like a bunch on the opponent. If that just infinitely stacks, that could be pretty crazy. And then so the special 3, Talk to the Hand. Aarkus vanishes into the ground in a puff of smoke, then uses the energy of the smoke world to grow his hand to gargantuan size. He toys with the opponent for a brief time. I love how they just say like what's going on in the special 3 before picking them up and slamming them into the wall. Aarkus increases the area of his ability's effect to cover the entire field for a certain amount of seconds. That's actually crazy. That's actually crazy. So I'm pretty sure that means that it's going to cover the whole by field. I'm pretty sure that means like the fight arena, like everywhere from your back wall to the opponent's back wall. Doesn't matter. After you use special 3, they're just going to be getting armor broken and cold snap debuffs. It doesn't even matter if you're near them, because I think that's what I'm reading. That's how I'm understanding this. That's actually crazy, dude. That would be like, you know who needs an ability like this? Omega Red. That'd be like Omega Red having this, and like the opponent just gains spores. doesn't matter where they are on the map, doesn't matter how close you are to them, they just gain spores. Like, that would be ridiculous. This sounds pretty crazy. It depends how many seconds this is going to last for. And if the opponent is armor shattered when this attack is activated, gain a fury buff, increasing attack rating by a certain amount for a certain amount of seconds. So he's also going to get a fury buff, and this could be a good fury buff. I feel like it's going to be like a Namor type fury and Mysterio type fury. BAM seems to be adding big attack increases after building up a character and using their special 3, which I like, because for the longest time in this game, special 3s weren't really that worthwhile. It was always go for the special 2s, even special 1s on some characters. So I like that they're making special 3s more worth it, because like when I first started playing this game, I always thought special 3s were the way to go. I'm like, save it for max power, 3 is better than 2, and I started to realize, like, wait, special 2 is better? That doesn't make sense. So I like that. It's more rewarding. But that's going to be crazy. It depends how long it's going to last. But at least, like, on defense, hopefully his power gain won't be too crazy and he won't be getting off special 3s. But yeah, it definitely sounds interesting. And then we got some interesting synergies as well. So, of course, he has a synergy with the other Visions. So Vision Aarkus gets... I'm just going to call him... I'm not going to call this guy Vision, because that's going to get confusing. We'll just call him Aarkus or Arcus. Like, that's a perfect nickname for him. It's Black Widow Clairvoyant, who's kind of... Like, that's a mouthful. I don't know. We got to think of a nickname for her. But for Aarkus, let me know how... If you guys know how you're supposed to say it, let me know how you're supposed to say it. I'm saying both, man. I don't care. But, so... If you have a synergy with one of the other Visions, Aarkus gains Armor Shattered, also decreases ability accuracy, and power gain of tech champions who rely on #metal. I like this. It's going to depend how much it is. Because it's kind of like Medusa's ability to shut down robots, but notice how it doesn't say robots. It just says tech champions who have the #metal, which is quite a few. So that's interesting. So it kind of expands across more than robots, whereas Medusa's only can affect robots. But it's going to depend what the ability accuracy is and power gain decretion is. If it's 100%, then that's going to be really cool. I don't think it'll be 100% though. And then, so for the other Visions, they gain power burn effects, also grant a fury buff for a certain amount of seconds. The fury potency increases with the amount of power burned. That's actually interesting. That's actually very interesting. That could be pretty good. Because if you drain like 3 bars of power with a special 2, you take all their power away, this could be a pretty good fury buff. Okay. And then, so, duplicate synergy does not stack. Does not stack with duplicate synergy. Okay. We got Dry Ice with Iceman and Mysterio. Aarkus increases the duration of armor break debuffs by a certain amount of seconds flat. Interesting. Iceman increased the duration of frostbite passives by 4 seconds flat. That's okay. I mean, the frostbites don't deal damage until they expire. So I guess maybe it'd be either just stack them up, then expire them all with a heavy. And then Mysterio increased the duration of reflection and frenzy gas by 3 seconds flat. That's pretty good. After special 3, you go into frenzy gas with Mysterio and you gain a big attack increase, so you can stay in it for another 3 seconds. That's cool. And then Senior's Discounts, synergy member unknown, special attacks cost 0% less power. That could be really good actually for Vision. That could be really good. Depends who that's with. I wonder, maybe it's with the new Black Widow. I don't know. But some cool stuff, man. Definitely some cool stuff. This guy seems like he could be a defender quite easily. Could be on the defense side. But he also seems interesting on the offensive side. I feel like there's some stuff maybe missing here. There's no bio. But I don't know if all the abilities are here or not. But I thought he was going to have some immunities, at least to poison. So I don't know if we're going to see some immunities. Maybe to like cold as well, because he has cold abilities. It makes sense that he could have some cold immunities. Like Iceman, he should have cold immunities, but for some reason he doesn't. So I don't know. I'm interested to see if there will be any immunities, because I feel like this guy could use some good help. But I'm excited. But yeah, he does seem like a bit of a defender. The special 3 seems like it could be pretty crazy. I don't know. I'm excited to see this guy, man. Let me know what you guys think of him. I look forward to reading your comments. Let me know who you're more excited for after watching both videos, Vision Aarkus or Black Widow Clairvoyant. Personally, I'm more excited for the new Black Widow. But I have to wait till I play them. Hopefully I can get both champions through the content creator program, test them, make some videos for you guys, really share my opinion, and then I want to go for at least one of them in arena. Hopefully they're worth it. If both are worth it, I might go for both. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you did enjoy it, drop a like, subscribe if you like some more content. And if you haven't seen the first part of breaking down Black Widow Clairvoyant's abilities, the link will be in the description below. Huge shout out to Otrix and MCC Journal for getting this info and putting a nice little graphic. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you did enjoy. Peace.